Well, I get to close it out, and what an amazing conference in 2 days this has been. I know I speak for Jay Kempton and Megan and Mindy when I say that this is what we hoped it would be, but we had no idea it would be this big, this fast on year 3. So really hats off to all of you all. Thank you for enduring the stormtroopers of the TSA and traveling all this way. This is a Star Wars theme, so you are rebel scum. I mean, you know that. There's still some swag. There's still T-shirts and lightsabers and all kinds of stuff. Whatever you don't buy, then we will buy ourselves. Jay and I will, and take it home. So please help yourselves on the way out. I want to do something before I get started. Megan and Mindy, come up here. Yeah, you too. Did you hear the word volunteers? And that's the mission and the spirit of the FMMA. It's doing the right thing because it's the right thing, not necessarily because it represents seizing any opportunity. When Jay and I met, he asked me for my pricing, and he didn't keep it to himself. He actually arranged for me to talk to all of his competitors. When I met with the folks at HealthSmart, they did not ask me to make that pricing exclusive for them. I try, as I have time, when all of you all call or email, to be open sourced and to help you embrace the ideas and the wisdom of the market. And I don't always do as well as I want to. I have a busy anesthesia practice, but I have tried. So that is the spirit of this organization, and that's how I want to really introduce my closing remarks. The first year, I talked about the origin and ethical principles of pricing. The second year, last year, I used the analogy of a bridge under which there were trolls. I love hearing everybody use trolls. That's a great word. And this year is going to be a little more personal. It's going to be about my thought journey, the thought journey at the Surgery Center of Oklahoma, partly because we are all on thought journeys. When Jeff Dice told me what he was going to say last night, I was very excited because his goal was to be, as he always is, provocative in a friendly way. And everybody is on their thought journey. And it just depends on how far along you are and how much time you give to seeking intellectual consistency. So this talk is going to be about a little bit about my thought journey, which I think is reflected in the story of the Surgery Center of Oklahoma and FMMA. We talked about economics. If you don't get this, then you need to read more about economics. So this is my price slide. This is about quality. So price and quality is value. And that's what this is about. You don't have to be the cheapest provider. You can charge more and get it right the first time and actually save the buyer money. I love this one. This is not automatic gunfire on a door. This is a door at the Surgery Center of Oklahoma. This is the result of a hailstorm in 2010. This is our roof. This is not during construction of the facility. This is the result of hailstones so big in Oklahoma that they came through our roof into the facility. This was devastating. But it didn't kill us. In fact, this wasn't nearly as bad as what the whole colluded and horrible cartel had done to us. In fact, it was 1 year before you see this carnage of our facility that we put our prices online. We were our own worst enemy. We were complaining constantly about the cartel and the hospitals, the insurance companies that hated us. And we didn't realize that we were our own worst enemy. We had not gone far enough. We were big fans of the free market, and we thought we understood that we were radical embracers of these ideas, but not nearly enough. And I'll come back to why these hailstorm pictures are pertinent. Things are good at the Surgery Center of Oklahoma. 60% of our revenue now comes through our website portal. 3% of our revenue 4 years ago came through our website portal. We anticipate at the current rate of growth, because there is a real tipping point that has been reached, that by beginning of second quarter, 80% or more of our revenue will come through our website portal. Things are good, but they've not always been good. And the reason they've not always been good is the story I'll tell you, which is our thought journey. When we opened in 1997, I had been out of Medicare for 4 years because I thought accepting that money was the same as receiving stolen property. So, as radical as that sounds, I made a prideful mistake and actually labeled myself as radical. I wasn't sure that I could actually be more free market consistent than I was. So we opened up the surgery center deciding we would never take federal money, and we opened it up with the idea that we would be honest in our pricing. None of the carriers wanted anything to do with us. I've heard through the years that the big hospitals have contracted with the idea that we would be excluded when they contract with carriers. I now know that firsthand. I learned that at the meeting this year, that recently in a contract negotiation, a hospital told a carrier, TPA, that they were all in on this transparent pricing thing as long as Surgery Center of Oklahoma was out. They were our friends, and they told them no. In fact, they were glad they were asked so that they could say no. So we were out of network when we started. Out of network is a really creepy thing for TPAs and stop-loss carriers. But we were charging fair prices. So the patient's out-of-pocket experience, even though we were out of network, was better at the Surgery Center of Oklahoma than it was at an in-network facility. But Jay Kempton told me one time something I think about often. Before we met, we were no different than any other provider. They would see these charge master rates come from the Surgery Center of Oklahoma, and they would discount them, and we would be paid. The only thing that was different about us maybe is we were more fair with the patients in terms of their out-of-pocket. So things were good. 1997, rolling along, everything went well. And then, I've told this story before, the carriers figured out a way to hurt us and to keep patients from coming through the doors. They stacked in and out of network deductibles, which made it almost impossible for patients to get through our doors. We almost died. in 2006, we were doing 290, 300 cases a month at our big 40,000 square foot facility, and we were about to close. In an act of self-defense, we put our prices online. I didn't know if it would work, but I knew I had to double down. It was that act which got us through this. This was nothing. We were closed 2 weeks. The entire facility was gutted and completely reconstructed inside in 2 weeks. And it was that doubling down with our faith in the power and the beauty of the market that sustained us through this. So, as radical as we thought we weren't nearly radical enough. We had not taken that next step, and we probably still have steps to take. And I think that's the message I want everyone to receive. However you think about yourself, know it's not static. It's a very dynamic process as you go through this thought process and as you riddle yourself for inconsistencies in your thought. And am I acting in a mutually beneficial way with all of the people that I deal with? The strength that will come from continuing your thought journey as disciples of the free market and its discipline will reward you all. It has sustained us through much worse than this. So thank you all for coming. We have thoroughly enjoyed having all of you. Hats off to you.